Thank you very much, and thank you so much to so many of you for being here. And also, let's not forget, thank you to the organizers. Camden Friends of Palestine represents everything that is so good about Camden. Diverse, open, democratic, inclusive, committed, passionate, and energetic. That is what this borough and what Holborn and St. Pancras is about. And the way people here have come together in support of the Palestinian people is quite extraordinary. To have a member of parliament representing this constituency who is pro-genocide, pro what Martin Ford KC, in a report commissioned by Keir Starmer that is tried very hard to forget exists, pro a hierarchy of racism in which somehow there's a difference between the evils of anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, anti-black racism, and all forms of discrimination, which is a nonsense. As my former boss Nelson Mandela said, you are either against all forms of racism and discrimination, or you are part of the racism problem. And we know exactly, where Keir Starmer's Labour Party falls on that spectrum, given his treatment in recent days of Diane Abbott, of Faiza Shaheen, and so many other lifelong anti-racists in his own party, like Jeremy Corbyn. Let's not forget, and I say this as a Jew, as the son of a Holocaust survivor, let's not forget that Keir Starmer has expelled more Jewish members of the Labour Party in the short time that he has been leader than all other leaders in the party's history combined, and he's done that in order to combat racism and anti-Semitism. I mean, that would be like expelling Nelson Mandela from the African National Congress in order to promote racism. Can I suggest... no, leave him, Leave him, don't touch him, Can I just say, sorry, guys, everybody, shh. Everybody, please just calm down. Calm down. I happen to agree with that gentleman. We should free all of the hostages. Not just the hostages taken on the 7th of October, because all of us who are human beings, who have a shred of humanity, will have felt incredible sadness for those who perished on the 7th of October, even though we understand the context in which it happened, the 75 years of oppression, of brutal and illegal occupation. But still, because we are human beings, we feel for those people, their families, their loved ones. But at the same time, we want all hostages, including those children who have been detained by Israel for years, to be released and to be free. Now, I should say that both the organizers and I personally invited Keir Starmer to be here this evening and to debate with us the Labour Party's position on Gaza. Now, he didn't say yes or no. Not that it would matter, because if he said yes, 30 seconds later he'd change his mind. 30 seconds after that he'd change his mind again when he was told there was new focus group information. This is a human rights lawyer who has lost his humanity. We are his constituents. Do we deserve to have someone like that representing us? And the problem is, in our political process, we've forgotten what representative democracy is supposed to be. In South Africa, Nelson Mandela said to us, the ANC MPs, he came into our caucus meeting and he said, "Who here thinks you're important?" And of course he knew that a few people would put up their hands. And he said to them, "The moment you think you are more important than the people who put you here, the people you represent, the people who pay your salary, that is the point at which you are of no use to those people, that you are of no use to your community, you are of no use to this movement, to this parliament, or to your country." The vast, vast majority of our MPs, including our own constituency MP, have forgotten that. How is it possible that as we continue to watch a genocide on our screens every day, as 76% of the people of this country, and probably close to 90% of the people of Camden and Holborn and St. Pancras, have wanted a ceasefire for months, have wanted a halt to arms sales to Israel for months, our MP will not reflect our views, and nor will any other senior mainstream politician. And it's really important, of course, what we have to remember is that one of the reasons we have such chronic underinvestment in our NHS, in our schools, in our benefits and care system, in our public transport system, is because of the tens of billions of pounds of our money that is being used to subsidize the weapons makers who are manufacturing the weapons that are being sent to Israel from the RAF base in Cyprus almost every day. These two things are related, and we must not forget that. And the relation goes further, because the trade in weapons, which requires us to have ridiculous defense budgets of billions and billions of pounds that are spent on things that don't make us safer but actually make us less secure, which result in that underinvestment. 40% of all corruption in all global trade comes through the global trade in arms. And those bribes don't only go to Saudi Arabia or the United Arab Emirates or my own country, South Africa, where BAE Systems paid 115 million pounds of bribes, or to Israel. Some of those bribes come back and find their way into our two main political parties and into the hands of our individual politicians. Tony Blair has conservatively made over 100 million pounds personally since leaving office on the decision to invade Iraq and his association with British and American arms companies. The reality is, thanks for your opinion, we happen to disagree with you. What we should remember is that both parties, it is because we love Britain and we love humanity that we demand an end to genocide, that we demand an end to a world dominated by an arms trade which makes our politicians and our billionaires even richer and makes us ever poorer. We do want to free the hostages, all of them, all of them, all of them. I tell you what, wait till after my speech and we'll talk about how we free all the hostages. Let me say that the only thing we are offered by the two main political parties in this country is permanent austerity and forever wars, and the climate degradation and socio-economic suffering that many people in our area experience every day. That is the offering. And there is no difference between the two main parties. So what we need to do is we cannot vote for anybody who has not called for a ceasefire or a halt to arms sales as soon as this tragedy, this indefensible genocide, started. We have to continue to demand an immediate ceasefire, a halt to arms sales to Israel, and we need to utilize the weapons, as Dan was saying, that was so important in bringing an end to apartheid in my home country of South Africa: boycott, divestment, and sanctions. And I know that there are many people standing here today who are parts of the tens of millions of people around the world who participated in BDS on behalf of the people of South Africa. And we will and we can do that again to bring an end to genocide, to bring an end to apartheid. And I cannot believe that I'm having to say that in 2024. That is the tragedy of our world. So to overcome it in Camden, in London, in the United Kingdom, let us work to ensure that every time people walk past an Israeli product, they ignore it. Every time. Every time they have the option of doing business with a company that supports Israel, they do not. And let us honor not only the 40,000 people who have been murdered, those who are trying to survive in Rafah today and tomorrow. Let us also honor my former boss, Nelson Mandela, who emerged from 27 years in an apartheid jail to say our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinian people. Thank you.